First contact and accusations. The vast expanse of space had always been a source of wonder and curiosity for humanity. For centuries we had gazed at the stars, dreaming of what might lie beyond our reach. Little did we know that our first encounter with alien life would come not with a message of peace, but with an indictment that would shake the very foundations of our existence. It was a crisp autumn morning when the alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit. The sleek, silver vessel dwarfed our largest space stations, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence. Governments around the world scrambled to respond, their militaries on high alert, while civilians alternated between panic and awe. Dr. Evelyn Chen, Earth's leading xenolinguist, found herself thrust into the spotlight as she was tasked with establishing communication with the alien visitors. Her heart raced as she stood before the hastily assembled array of transmission equipment, her fingers hovering over the controls. "This is Dr. Evelyn Chen of Earth, representing the human race," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "We welcome you in peace and hope to establish friendly relations." For several tense minutes, there was no response. Then suddenly, a holographic projection materialized before her, revealing a being unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Its body was a swirling mass of translucent tentacles, each one pulsing with bioluminescent light. At the center of this ethereal form was a cluster of eyes, each one a different color and shape. "Greetings, humans," the alien spoke, its voice a haunting melody that seemed to resonate within Evelyn's very bones. "I am Zixlorn, emissary of the Galactic Council. We have come not in peace, but in judgment." Evelyn's blood ran cold. "Judgment? I don't understand. We've never even encountered your kind before." Zixlorn's tentacles rippled, creating a pattern that Evelyn instinctively recognized as an expression of grim determination. "Your ignorance of our existence does not absolve you of your crimes. Humanity has been observed for centuries, and the Galactic Council has deemed your species to be the most dangerous in the known universe." The accusation hit Evelyn like a physical blow. She struggled to find her voice, acutely aware that billions of humans were watching this exchange. That's impossible. We've barely left our own solar system. How could we possibly be a threat to the galaxy? Your potential for destruction far exceeds your current technological capabilities, Zixlorn explained, its voice tinged with what might have been sadness. "We have witnessed your wars, your environmental destruction, your insatiable hunger for resources. But more than that, we have seen the darkness that lurks within your hearts." As Zixlorn spoke, holographic images appeared around them, showcasing humanity's worst moments throughout history. Scenes of war, pollution, and cruelty flickered before Evelyn's eyes, each one a damning piece of evidence against her species. "But that's not all we are," Evelyn protested, her mind racing to find a way to defend humanity. "We've made mistakes, yes, but we've also created beauty, made scientific discoveries, shown compassion." Zixlorn interrupted her, its tentacles flaring. "Your achievements do not outweigh the threat you pose. The Galactic Council has decreed that humanity must stand trial. If found guilty, your species will be contained." The weight of that last word hung in the air, its implications chilling. Evelyn realized with growing horror that the fate of humanity now rested on the outcome of this cosmic trial. How will this trial proceed?" she asked, fighting to keep her voice steady. "Representatives of your species will be brought before the Galactic Council," Zixlorn explained. "You will have the opportunity to present your case, but be warned, the evidence against you is overwhelming." As the gravity of the situation sank in, governments around the world erupted into chaos. Emergency meetings were called, militaries were mobilized, and the general populace oscillated between denial and despair. In the days that followed, a team of Earth's brightest minds was assembled to represent humanity in this unprecedented trial. Dr. Evelyn Chen found herself at the center of this group, tasked with not only communicating with the aliens, but also helping to craft humanity's defense. As they prepared to leave Earth for the Galactic Council's headquarters, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that they were woefully unprepared. How could they possibly prove that humanity deserved to exist freely in the universe? The journey to the Galactic Council's space station was a blur of stars and swirling nebulae. Evelyn and her team spent every waking moment poring over historical records, scientific achievements, and cultural artifacts, desperately searching for anything that might sway the Council in humanity's favor. As their ship docked at the massive space station that served as the seat of the Galactic Council, Evelyn gazed out at the breathtaking array of alien vessels surrounding them. Each one represented a different species, a different civilization that had found its place in the cosmic community. Would humanity ever have the chance to join them, or would this be as far as they ever got? The human delegation was escorted through winding corridors of impossible architecture, surrounded by beings of every conceivable shape and form. Some regarded the humans with curiosity, others with obvious disdain. Finally, they arrived at the grand chamber where the trial would take place. As the doors swung open, Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. Before them stretched a vast amphitheater filled with thousands of alien representatives. At the center, on a raised dais, sat the members of the Galactic Council itself, beings of such ancient wisdom and power that Evelyn felt like a child in their presence. Zixlawn appeared beside them, its tentacles glowing softly. The trial of humanity begins now. May the universe bear witness to your judgment. As Evelyn and her team took their places, she couldn't help but feel the weight of every human life resting on her shoulders. This was more than just a trial. It was a fight for the very soul of humanity, a chance to prove that despite our flaws, we deserved a place among the stars. The chief counselor, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline form, spoke in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Humans of Earth, you stand accused of being the most dangerous species in the known universe. How do you plead? Evelyn stepped forward, her heart pounding but her resolve unshakable. We plead not guilty, she declared, her voice ringing out across the chamber. And we intend to prove that humanity, for all its faults, has the potential to be a force for good in this universe. As murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens, Evelyn knew that the real challenge was just beginning. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and it was up to her and her team to convince the Galactic Council that humans were worthy of a second chance. The trial of the century, no, the millennium, was about to begin, and the entire universe was watching. Part 2. The Galactic Council's Judgment. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council fell into an eerie silence as Evelyn's declaration echoed through the vast space. Thousands of alien eyes focused on the small group of humans, their gazes a mix of skepticism, curiosity, and in some cases, outright hostility. The chief counselor, the being of pure energy, pulsed with an intensity that made Evelyn's skin tingle. Your plea is noted, humans of Earth. However, the evidence against your species is substantial. We will now present the case for the prosecution. A holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, showcasing scenes from Earth's history. Images of war, environmental destruction, and cruelty flashed before the assembly. Evelyn winced as she saw familiar atrocities play out: world wars, genocides, the systematic destruction of rainforests, and the extinction of countless species. Zixlawn, now acting as the prosecutor, moved to the center of the chamber. Esteemed members of the council, honored representatives of the galactic community, I present to you the species known as humans. For millennia, we have observed their development, hoping to see them overcome their baser instincts. Instead, we have witnessed a pattern of behavior that poses a grave threat to the delicate balance of our universe. The alien's tentacles swirled in agitation as it continued. Not only have humans shown a propensity for violence against their own kind, but they have also demonstrated a reckless disregard for their planet's ecosystem. Their technology advances at an alarming rate, yet their wisdom lags far behind. We fear that if left unchecked, they will bring their destructive nature to the stars. As Zixlawn spoke, more images appeared, projections of possible futures where human wars spilled out into space, where Earth's environmental catastrophes were replicated on other worlds. Evelyn felt a chill run down her spine as she realized how the Council viewed humanity's potential impact on the galaxy. Furthermore, Zexuan continued, humans possess a dangerous combination of traits: intelligence, adaptability, and an insatiable curiosity. While these might seem like positive attributes, when coupled with their aggressive tendencies and lack of foresight, they become a recipe for cosmic disaster. The holographic display shifted to show human scientific achievements: the splitting of the atom, the creation of artificial intelligence, the manipulation of genetics. Each breakthrough was presented not as a triumph, but as a potential threat to universal stability. We have seen countless species rise and fall throughout the history of our galaxy, Zexuan stated solemnly. But never have we encountered one with such potential for both greatness and catastrophe. It is our belief that allowing humans to freely expand into the cosmos would be an unacceptable risk. As the prosecutor concluded its opening statement, a wave of murmurs swept through the assembled aliens. Evelyn exchanged worried glances with her team. The case against humanity seemed overwhelming when presented like this. The chief counselor's voice resonated through the chamber once more. We have heard the prosecution's argument. Now, we call upon the human representatives to present their defense. Be warned, the burden of proof lies heavily upon you. You must demonstrate not only that your species is not a threat, but that you have the potential to contribute positively to our galactic community. Evelyn took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenge ahead. She stepped forward, acutely aware of the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Honored members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice steady despite her racing heart. We acknowledge the crimes and mistakes of our past. We do not stand before you claiming to be perfect, but we ask you to consider the full spectrum of human existence, not just our darkest moments. With a gesture, Evelyn activated their own holographic display. Images of human achievements began to appear: great works of art, architectural marvels, scientific breakthroughs that had improved the quality of life for millions. Humanity is capable of great beauty and compassion, Evelyn continued. We have created music that can move the soul, art that captures the essence of existence. Our philosophers have grappled with questions of morality and consciousness for millennia. And yes, we have made mistakes, but we have also shown the capacity to learn from them. The display shifted to show scenes of environmental restoration projects, peace treaties being signed, and global cooperation in the face of disasters. We are a young species, still learning and growing, Evelyn argued passionately. Our history is not just a record of destruction, but also one of progress. We have moved from tribal conflicts to global cooperation, from superstition to scientific understanding. Yes, we still have far to go, but our trajectory is one of improvement. As she spoke, Evelyn could see some of the alien representatives leaning forward, their body language suggesting interest or at least lessened hostility. She pressed on, encouraged by this small sign of hope. Moreover, our very adaptability and curiosity, traits that you fear, are what make us valuable potential members of the galactic community. We have a unique ability to think outside conventional boundaries, to find innovative solutions to complex problems. Given the chance, we could contribute greatly to the collective knowledge and creativity of the universe. The holographic display now showed theoretical models of human contributions to space exploration, medical breakthroughs that could benefit multiple species, and potential solutions to cosmic-scale problems. We stand before you not asking for absolution, but for an opportunity, Evelyn concluded, her voice ringing with conviction. An opportunity to prove that we can overcome our baser instincts, that we can channel our energy and intelligence towards the betterment of not just ourselves, but all sentient life. We ask you to judge us not only by our past, but by our potential future. As Evelyn finished her opening statement, a hushed silence fell over the chamber. The chief counselor's crystalline form shimmered as it considered her words. You have presented a compelling argument, human, the counselor said finally. But words alone are not enough. We will require concrete evidence of humanity's capacity for growth and positive contribution. Are you prepared to undergo a series of tests and challenges to prove your worth? Evelyn glanced at her team, seeing determination in their eyes. She turned back to the council, her resolve unwavering. We are prepared to face any challenge you set before us. Humanity stands ready to prove its value to the universe. The chief councillor's form pulsed with what might have been approval. Very well. Let the trials begin. May they reveal the true nature of humanity, for better or for worse. As the chamber erupted into a flurry of activity, Evelyn and her team huddled together. They had won the right to prove themselves, but the real test was yet to come. The fate of humanity would be decided not just by their words, but by their actions in the face of unknown challenges. The trial of humanity had only just begun, and the universe watched with bated breath to see what this young, volatile species would do when pushed to its limits. Humans on trial, presenting the defense. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity as the Galactic Council prepared a series of trials designed to test humanity's worth. Evelyn and her team were sequestered in a strange, shimmering chamber that seemed to exist outside of normal space-time. Here, they would face challenges that would push them to their limits, both physically and mentally. As they waited for the first trial to begin, Dr. Marcus Reeves, a renowned physicist on the team, paced nervously. What do you think they'll throw at us, Evelyn? How can we possibly prove our entire species' worth? Evelyn shook her head, her brow furrowed in concentration. I don't know, Marcus, but whatever it is, we have to be ready. The fate of Earth depends on us. Before anyone could respond, the air shimmered, and Zix Lawn appeared before them. Humans, your first trial begins now. You will face a series of ethical dilemmas and problem-solving challenges. Your responses will be carefully evaluated. The chamber transformed around them, and suddenly they found themselves in what appeared to be a primitive alien village. The inhabitants, small creatures with fur and large, expressive eyes, cowered in fear as a massive predator approached from the distance. Zixlawn's voice echoed around them. This species is non-spacefaring and has no advanced technology. The approaching predator will decimate their population. You have the means to stop it, but doing so would violate the principle of non-interference with developing civilizations. What do you do? The team looked at each other, the weight of the decision heavy on their shoulders. Dr. Amelia Foster, an anthropologist, spoke up. We can't just let them die. Our compassion is part of what makes us human. But interfering could alter the course of their entire civilization, argued Dr. Reeves. We could be doing more harm than good in the long run. Evelyn listened to her colleagues' debate, her mind racing. Finally, she stepped forward. We will help them, but indirectly. We can use our technology to lure the predator away without revealing ourselves. This way, we preserve their natural development while preventing a catastrophe. As she spoke, the scene around them shifted. The predator changed course, moving away from the village. The furry aliens emerged from their hiding spots, looking relieved but unaware of what had nearly happened. Zixlawn's voice returned. An interesting solution. You've shown compassion while attempting to minimize your impact. But does this not still represent interference? Evelyn stood her ground. All actions have consequences. The key is to weigh those consequences carefully and act with the best intentions. We chose to save lives while respecting the integrity of their culture. That's the essence of ethical decision-making. The scene dissolved, and they found themselves facing a new challenge. This time, they were presented with a dying star system. Millions of alien lives were at stake, but saving them would require tremendous resources that could be used to aid billions elsewhere. Again and again, the trials came. Each one presented a complex problem with no clear right answer. The human team debated, argued, and ultimately made decisions that showcased both their analytical skills and their capacity for empathy. They'd faced simulations of diplomatic negotiations between warring alien races, worked to solve ecological disasters on far-flung planets, and grappled with abstract mathematical concepts that pushed the boundaries of human understanding. Through it all, Evelyn and her team demonstrated humanity's unique ability to think creatively, to approach problems from unconventional angles, and to balance logical reasoning with emotional intelligence. As the final trial concluded, the team found themselves back in the shimmering chamber, exhausted but filled with a sense of accomplishment. Zixlawn materialized before them, its tentacles swirling in a pattern that Evelyn had come to recognize as thoughtfulness. "You have completed the trials," it announced. "Your performance was unexpected." Evelyn stepped forward, her chin held high. "We've shown you the best of what humanity has to offer. We've demonstrated our problem-solving skills, our empathy, and our ability to grapple with complex ethical issues. Surely this counts in our favor." The alien's form shimmered. "You have indeed shown remarkable qualities. However, the Council must also consider the potential negative outcomes of allowing your species to join the galactic community. Your very unpredictability, while sometimes an asset, is also a source of concern." Dr. Reeves spoke up, his voice filled with passion. "But isn't that unpredictability exactly what the universe needs? We've shown that we can adapt, that we can find solutions where others see only problems. Yes, we're unpredictable, but that's because we're not bound by conventional thinking." Amelia nodded in agreement. "Throughout our history, some of our greatest achievements have come from those who dared to think differently. Our art, our science, our philosophy. All of these have flourished because we question, we explore, we imagine." Evelyn took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "We don't ask you to ignore the potential dangers we pose. We ask you to see that those same qualities that make us dangerous also make us invaluable. Our drive to explore, to understand, to improve. These are the traits that will allow us to contribute meaningfully to the galactic community." Zixlawn was silent for a long moment, its form pulsing with shifting colors. Finally, it spoke. "Your arguments are compelling. You have given the Council much to consider. There will now be a period of deliberation, during which we will hear from other species who have had contact with humans. Some may speak in your favor, others against you." The alien's form began to fade. "Rest now, humans. You have faced your trials with courage and ingenuity. But remember, the final judgment is yet to come. The fate of your species still hangs in the balance." As Zixlawn disappeared, Evelyn turned to her team. Their faces showed a mix of hope and apprehension. They had done all they could to showcase humanity's potential, but would it be enough? As they settled in to wait for the next phase of the trial, Evelyn couldn't help but wonder what other surprises the Galactic Council had in store for them. The universe, it seemed, was not yet done testing humanity's worth. Alien witnesses and unexpected allies. The human team was ushered back into the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. The atmosphere was tense, filled with an electric anticipation that made the hair on Evelyn's arms stand on end. As they took their places, she noticed that the amphitheater was now filled to capacity, with representatives from countless alien species eager to witness this unprecedented trial. The chief counselor's crystalline form shimmered into focus at the center of the chamber. "We have deliberated on the humans' performance in our trials," it announced, its voice resonating through the vast space. "While their responses were intriguing, we require further evidence before making our final judgment. We will now hear testimonies from species who have had direct or indirect contact with humans." Evelyn's heart raced. They hadn't prepared for this. What kind of encounters had other species had with humanity? And more importantly, how would these testimonies affect their case? The first to step forward was a tall, avian-like being with iridescent feathers and piercing golden eyes. "I am Kreezak of the Etherian flock," it trilled. "Our probes have observed humans for centuries. We have witnessed their wars, their destruction of their own environment. But we have also seen their capacity for change and growth." The Etherians' testimony was a mixed bag, highlighting humanity's violent tendencies, but also their ability to learn from mistakes and strive for better. Evelyn found herself holding her breath as Krizak concluded. They are dangerous, yes, but also fascinating. Their potential is undeniable. Next came a being that seemed to be made entirely of flowing water, its voice a gurgling melody. "We are the Aquarii," it burbled. "Our deep space sensors detected human radio transmissions centuries ago. We have listened to their music, their stories, their dreams. There is a beauty in their imagination that we find compelling." As more testimonies were presented, a pattern began to emerge. Many species feared humanity's aggressive tendencies and rapid technological advancement, but just as many were intrigued by human creativity, adaptability, and resilience. A collective gasp rippled through the chamber as the next witness was announced. A hulking reptilian creature stomped forward, its scales gleaming under the ethereal light. "I am Grokthar of the Draken Empire," it growled. "We have fought the humans." Evelyn's blood ran cold. She had no knowledge of any extraterrestrial conflicts in Earth's history. What was this creature talking about? Grokthar continued, its voice a low rumble. "Centuries ago, we attempted to invade their planet, believing them to be easy prey. We were mistaken." The alien's tail lashed in what might have been remembered frustration. Though technologically inferior, the humans fought with a ferocity we had never encountered. They united in the face of a common threat, setting aside their internal conflicts to defend their world. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Evelyn exchanged shocked glances with her team. This was completely new information to them. "In the end, we were forced to retreat," Grokthar admitted, "but not before we learned a valuable lesson. Humans are not to be underestimated. Their unpredictability makes them dangerous, yes, but it also makes them formidable allies. Since our conflict, we have watched them from afar. Their potential for both creation and destruction is unparalleled." As Grokthar stepped back, Evelyn's mind raced. This testimony could either damn humanity as a violent species or prove their worth as galactic defenders. The outcome balanced on a knife's edge. The testimonies continued, each one adding another layer to the complex picture of humanity. Some spoke of human kindness witnessed through covert observations, others of the inspiring tenacity shown in the face of natural disasters. A few recounted narrow escapes from human detection during secret missions to Earth, emphasizing humanity's growing awareness of the cosmos. Finally, a small glowing being floated to the center of the chamber. Its voice was like chimes in the wind. "We are the Lumina," it chimed. "We have watched humanity for millennia, and we have seen their struggles and triumphs. But most importantly, we have seen their potential." The luminous form pulsed with increasing brightness. Humans possess a unique quality. They dream. They imagine possibilities beyond their current reality and then strive to make those dreams come true. This ability, combined with their adaptability and determination, makes them unlike any species we have encountered. The glowing being turned to address the Council directly. "We believe that humanity, despite its flaws, has the potential to bring great positive change to our galactic community. Their inclusion could usher in a new era of innovation and growth for all species." As the Lumina retreated, the chamber fell into a hushed silence. The chief counselor's form pulsed thoughtfully. "We have heard many perspectives on the human species," it intoned. "Now, we ask the human representatives, in light of these testimonies, what final argument would you make for your species' inclusion in the galactic community?" Evelyn stepped forward, her mind whirling with all they had heard. This was their last chance to make their case. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of every human life resting on her words. "Honored members of the Council," she began, her voice clear and strong. "You have heard much about humanity today, our strengths and our flaws, our potential and our dangers. We stand before you not as a perfect species, but as one that is constantly striving to be better." She gestured broadly, encompassing the entire chamber. "The diversity we see in this room, the variety of perspectives we've heard, this is what makes the galactic community strong. Humanity can add to that strength. Our unpredictability, which some fear, is the source of our greatest innovations. Our adaptability allows us to find solutions where others might see only problems. Evelyn's voice grew more passionate as she continued. Yes, we have made mistakes. Yes, we have the capacity for destruction. But we also have an unparalleled drive to learn, to explore, to understand. We create art that speaks to the soul, music that transcends language, and scientific theories that unlock the secrets of the universe. She paused, looking directly at the chief counselor. We don't ask you to ignore our flaws. We ask you to see our potential, give humanity a chance to prove itself on the galactic stage. Allow us the opportunity to learn from the wealth of knowledge and experience gathered here. In return, we offer our creativity, our determination, and our unique perspective. As Evelyn finished speaking, a ripple of reaction passed through the assembled aliens. Some nodded in approval, others chittered in disagreement. The chief counselor's form pulsed brightly. We have heard all arguments, it announced. The council will now make its final deliberation. The fate of humanity will be decided. May the wisdom of the universe guide our judgment. With that, the council members vanished, leaving Evelyn and her team to wait in tense silence. The trial of humanity had reached its climax, and the next few moments would determine the future of their entire species. The final verdict and consequences. The chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with nervous energy as all eyes turned towards the center, where the chief counselor's crystalline form slowly materialized. Evelyn felt her heart pounding in her chest, the weight of humanity's future pressing down on her shoulders. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle or chirp from the assembled alien species. Finally, the chief counselor spoke, its voice resonating through the vast space. We have reached our decision regarding the fate of humanity. Evelyn held her breath, acutely aware of her teammates doing the same beside her. This was the moment that would define the future of their entire species. The deliberations were challenging, the counselor continued. Never before have we encountered a species that has inspired such divided opinions among the galactic community. Humanity's potential for both greatness and destruction is unparalleled. The crystalline being pulsed with an intense light. After careful consideration of all testimonies, trial results, and arguments presented, we have decided. The pause seemed to stretch for an eternity. That humanity will be granted provisional acceptance into the galactic community. A collective gasp rippled through the chamber, followed by a cacophony of reactions from the assembled aliens. Some chittered in approval, others buzzed with concern, while a few let out what could only be described as alarmed shrieks. Evelyn felt a wave of relief wash over her, but it was quickly tempered by the counselor's next words. However, this acceptance comes with strict conditions and oversight. The chief counselor's form expanded, projecting a series of holographic images. Humanity will be subject to a probationary period of 100 Earth years. During this time, you will be granted limited access to galactic knowledge and technology. Your progress will be closely monitored. The images shifted, showing scenes of Earth and its solar system. A galactic embassy will be established on your moon to facilitate communication and oversee your development. You will be expected to make significant strides in environmental restoration, peaceful conflict resolution, and ethical technological advancement. Evelyn nodded, her mind racing with the implications. This was more than they had hoped for, but it also presented enormous challenges. Furthermore, the counselor continued, any attempt to weaponize the knowledge or technology granted to you will result in immediate probation violation. The consequences of such a violation would be severe. The unspoken threat hung heavy in the air. Evelyn stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. We understand and accept these conditions. Humanity is ready to take its place in the galactic community, and we will work tirelessly to prove our worth. The chief counselor's form pulsed in acknowledgement. Very well, there is one final matter to address. It turned its attention to the assembled alien representatives. As per our laws, any species that objects to this decision has the right to issue a formal challenge. Do any among you wish to do so? For a moment, Evelyn's heart sank as several alien species began to stir. But before any could speak, a familiar voice rang out. The luminous stand with humanity. The small, glowing being floated forward. We will act as their mentors during this probationary period, guiding them as they navigate their new role in the galactic community. Other voices joined in. The Etherian flock pledged to assist in environmental restoration efforts. The Aquarii offered to share their water purification technology. Even Grok Thar of the Draken Empire grudgingly offered to provide insights on defensive strategies to prevent any foolish young races from making the same mistake we did. As the pledges of support continued, Evelyn felt a swell of emotion. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had been given a chance. The chief counselor's form brightened. It is decided then. Let it be recorded that on this day, humanity has been granted provisional acceptance into the galactic community. May this mark the beginning of a new era of cooperation and growth for all sentient beings. With a final pulse of light, the council chamber began to shift and fade. Evelyn found herself and her team back in the holding area, where their journey had begun. Zlexlawn appeared before them, its tentacles swirling in a pattern that Evelyn now recognized as a mix of approval and caution. You have achieved something unprecedented, Zlexlawn said. But your greatest challenge lies ahead. You must now return to Earth and prepare your people for the monumental changes to come. Evelyn nodded, her mind already racing with the enormity of the task before them. How would they announce this to the world? How would humanity react to the knowledge that they were not alone in the universe, and that they were now part of something far greater than they had ever imagined? As if reading her thoughts, Zlexlawn's form shimmered. Remember, Dr. Chen, that the eyes of the galaxy are now upon you. The actions of humanity in the coming years will determine not only your own fate, but potentially the fate of countless other species. Choose wisely. With those parting words, Zlexlawn vanished, leaving Evelyn and her team to contemplate the incredible journey ahead. They had won humanity a place among the stars, but the real work was only just beginning. As they prepared for their return to Earth, Evelyn gazed out at the star-filled expanse beyond their ship. The universe had just become infinitely larger and more complex, filled with both wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But for the first time, humanity would face it not alone, but as part of a vast, diverse galactic family. The trial was over. The true test of humanity was about to begin. Humanity's redemption and new role in the universe. The return to Earth was a blur of preparation and anticipation. As their ship entered the atmosphere, Evelyn and her team could see the swarms of aircraft and satellites tracking their descent. News of their arrival had spread like wildfire, and the world waited with bated breath to hear the outcome of humanity's cosmic trial. As they touched down in a specially prepared area outside the United Nations headquarters in New York, Evelyn took a deep breath. The moment of truth had arrived. The team emerged from their ship to a cacophony of cheers, questions, and the constant click and whir of cameras. World leaders, scientists, and representatives from every nation on Earth had gathered to hear their report. Evelyn stepped up to the hastily assembled podium, her heart pounding but her resolve firm. She looked out at the sea of faces, all turned towards her in eager anticipation. People of Earth, she began, her voice carried across the globe by countless broadcasters. I bring news that will forever change the course of human history. We are not alone in the universe. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, followed by an eruption of voices. Evelyn held up her hand for silence, and gradually the noise subsided. We have been granted provisional acceptance into a vast galactic community, she continued. But this acceptance comes with great responsibility and challenges we must overcome. Over the next hour, Evelyn and her team detailed their experiences with the Galactic Council, the trials they faced, and the conditions of humanity's acceptance. As they spoke, they could see the mix of emotions playing across the faces in the crowd: wonder, fear, excitement, and determination. "We have been given an unprecedented opportunity," Evelyn concluded, "but we must prove ourselves worthy of it. The next 100 years will determine our place in the cosmos. We must unite as never before, setting aside our differences to work towards a common goal, to show the galaxy the best of what humanity has to offer." In the days and weeks that followed, the world was transformed. The establishment of the Lunar Embassy brought with it a flurry of activity as humanity prepared to welcome its first official extraterrestrial visitors. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to adapt alien technologies to Earth's needs, focusing on environmental restoration and sustainable energy sources. Global conflicts, which had seemed so important just months ago, began to fade into the background as nations realized the need for cooperation in the face of this new cosmic reality. A new era of diplomacy dawned, driven by the shared goal of proving humanity's worth to the galactic community. Education systems around the world were overhauled to include courses on xenobiology, interstellar ethics, and cosmic history. Art and literature experienced a renaissance as creators grappled with humanity's new place in the universe, producing works that captured the wonder and challenge of this new era. As the years passed, Earth began to change. Polluted skies cleared as clean energy technologies were implemented globally. Deforested areas sprang back to life, aided by advanced terraforming techniques shared by the Etherian flock. The oceans, once choked with plastic, were gradually cleansed thanks to aquarii purification methods. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were those who resisted the changes, fearing the loss of human independence or the dilution of Earth cultures. Conspiracy theories abounded, and some fringe groups even attempted to sabotage the Lunar Embassy. Yet each challenge was met with a united response from the global community, growing stronger and more cohesive with each test. 50 years into humanity's probationary period, the first human delegates were invited to attend a Galactic Council session. Evelyn, now in her later years, but still sharp as ever, led the delegation. As they entered the grand chamber, so familiar yet still awe-inspiring, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride at how far they had come. The chief counselor acknowledged their presence, its crystalline form shimmering with what Evelyn had learned to recognize as approval. "Humans of Earth," it intoned, "your progress has been remarkable. You have faced your challenges with ingenuity and determination. While your probationary period is not yet complete, we are optimistic about your future in the galactic community." As the session continued, human delegates participated in discussions on cosmic-scale issues, offering unique perspectives that often led to innovative solutions. Their creativity and adaptability, once seen as potentially dangerous qualities, were now recognized as valuable assets in tackling the complex problems facing the galaxy. Back on Earth, the approach of the 100-year mark brought with it a sense of nervous excitement. Humanity had made incredible strides, but would it be enough? As the day of judgment drew near, people around the world held their breath, hoping that their efforts would be deemed worthy. Finally, the day arrived. The Galactic Council convened on Earth itself, a historic first that signified the gravity of the occasion. As billions watched, the chief counselor delivered its verdict. "Humanity," it began, its voice resonating across the planet, "you have been judged. Your journey has been one of transformation, of growth, and of redemption. You have shown us the very best of what you can be." A pause, heavy with anticipation. It is the decision of this council that humanity be granted full membership in the galactic community, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. The eruption of joy that followed was unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Celebrations broke out across the planet, a global outpouring of relief, pride, and hope for the future. As the festivities continued around her, Evelyn stood quietly, gazing up at the stars. They no longer seemed distant and unreachable, but like old friends, full of promise and possibility. Humanity had been tested, had faced its own darkness, and had emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. The universe, vast and wondrous, awaited, and humanity, no longer alone, but part of a grand cosmic family, was ready for whatever adventures lay ahead. The trial was over, but their journey was just beginning. Epilogue: A New Dawn. Decades after humanity's full acceptance into the galactic community, Earth had become a shining example of what could be achieved through cooperation, determination, and the responsible use of advanced technology. The once polluted planet now boasted thriving ecosystems, with reborn forests and oceans teeming with life. Cities had been transformed into marvels of sustainable architecture, seamlessly blending with the natural environment. Humanity's influence had spread beyond Earth, with colonies established on Mars, Europa, and even in the atmospheres of gas giants. Each of these outposts served as beacons of human ingenuity and adaptability. But perhaps the most significant change was in humanity itself. The species that had once been on the brink of self-destruction now stood as mediators in galactic disputes, their unique perspective and problem-solving abilities highly valued throughout the cosmos. On a warm summer evening, an aged Evelyn Chen sat in her garden, watching the sunset. Above her, the sky was alive with the twinkling of stars and the gentle movements of interstellar ships. A small alien child, part of an exchange program, played nearby, its laughter mingling with the songs of Earth birds. Evelyn smiled, remembering the long journey that had brought them to this point. The trials, the struggles, the moments of doubt, all had led to this peaceful scene, a testament to humanity's growth and redemption. As the first stars became visible, Evelyn felt a deep sense of contentment. Humanity had not only found its place in the universe, but had also become an integral part of the cosmic tapestry. The future, once uncertain, now shimmered with limitless possibilities. The trial was long over, but the adventure continued, and humanity, once alone on a pale blue dot, now stood ready to face whatever challenges the vast cosmos might bring, not in isolation, but as part of a grand, interstellar family. As night fell, Evelyn closed her eyes, at peace with the knowledge that the legacy she and her team had helped create would continue long into the cosmic future. Humanity's greatest journey was just beginning. This epilogue brings the story full circle, showing the long-term results of humanity's acceptance into the galactic community and providing a sense of closure to Evelyn's personal journey. It leaves the reader with a sense of hope and wonder about humanity's future among the stars.